Okay, welcome everybody to another MTGO league with Black Green Rock. This time, slight variation. Seen this this sort of version of Rock do well recently. We are playing Lurrus of the Dream Den as a companion. Saw Jabberwocky, that's his Modo name. Went and did well with this recently, so thought I'd give it a go. I've given it a go a few times off recording, and it's pretty sweet. Essentially, you are foregoing things like Liliana, main deck Lurrus, and things like Tireless Tracker for Lurrus, the main Dream Den companion, meaning that you incentivized to play Mishra's Baubles and more cheap threats like Hex Drinker, which we've got 4 of, and then we've got this main deck Nile Spellbomb, and then that's the difference. It's annoying to lose Liliana, but we're going to give it a go. So sort of the replacements for the Liliana sort of slots, I suppose. You have to play these baubles with Lurrus. Really, they're so good if you're able to play Lurrus and play bauble over and over again. Draw 2 cards turn, and the other sort of inclusion that is a bit unorthodox but has been really good is Knight's Whisper. 1 in the main, just to kind of get back card advantage. You're never really sad to see this Knight's Whisper. And you've got 2 more in the sideboard for the grindy matchups. Engineered Explosives, which has been really good with Lurrus, just because against creature decks or things running 1 and 2 mana permanents, you can rebuy it over and over again with Lurrus. And then we've got Reign of Tears as our anti-land strategy choice, just the black version of Stone Rain. So yeah, without further ado, let's run this through a league. Hope everyone is doing well today. If this type of content is something you enjoy, please do think about subscribing to the channel. I'm having a good deal of fun at the moment, running lots of mid-range strategies through and chatting through the plays that I make. So there's going to be more of that content coming out. And yeah, do let me know in the comments if it's something you're enjoying. If there's I'm always happy to discuss plays, and if there's something I've sort of misplayed, I'm always keen to go over that and think about what could have been done differently. So please do let me know. This league fresh off the back of a 5-0 with Jund. So if Jund is something you enjoy, go and check that one out. It's the first 5-0 we've got on the channel. Okay, we'll be on the draw here. So declare Lurrus as a companion, and we see an okay hand. It's got Inquisition into Bob, which is always a good start. Got this Field of Ruin in case we are against something like Tron. I'm going to need to find a 3rd land at some point. We've got this Bauble. Oh, that is Tron. Okay, that's okay, but we're on the draw. Field of Ruin is obviously quite a lot worse. Oh, I've just misplayed. Oh, I meant to play Mishra's Bauble. Got carried away. Okay, so they're finding Khan, the Great Creator. Yeah, that was just a misclick there from me. Yeah, we shouldn't have we didn't really want to show them this Field of Ruin. We've drawn a land. Okay, so opponent is not on natural Tron. If I'd have Inquisitioned, I might have been able to hit a Sylvan Scrying, which would have been nice, but I think now we do want to get the Bob down. Oh, very annoying misclick there, but not a lot we can do now. So no 2 cards in my opponent's hand. There's the mine. Okay, it's an Ancient Stirring, so they're looking for power plants. They find a sphere. Okay. Well, silver lining is if my opponent plays a Khan next turn, which they're pretty sure to, we can then go and we can Inquisition the Assassin's Trophy. Okay. Yeah, so the good thing with this is we can, next turn we could Inquisition away the Khan. It's going to play Swamp here. We could Inquisition away the Khan, whatever they get with Khan. And then, do we want to Inquisition though? I think we just want to play another threat. Or do we just want to Field of Ruin Inquisition? Because we have got Decay and Trophy. It's just interesting. There's a few lines we could take. We could Inquisition play a threat, because then we could kill Khan on the next if they play Khan, we could kill it with double threat. We could Field of Ruin Inquisition. That prevents us from dying if they find the next Tron land. We will have things like Assassin's Trophy and Abrupt Decay to deal with whatever Khan goes and gets. So if they played Ancient Stirrings last turn, I kind of think Field of Ruin Inquisition is right, and then we can. Yeah, I think I'm going to take that line. They searched for the mine, so we'll hit the mine. Go and grab another swamp. And then we'll Inquisition. Okay, so they have... it's not the best hand, but not too bad. Okay, so... bit surprised that my opponent's cracking some stars and spheres here. Would have thought they wanted the... I guess they've got enough green mana. But now my opponent hasn't got any Tron lands. Hasn't got any extra Tron pieces in hand. So if they play Khan, they can tick down. Okay, Oblivion Stone, that's fine because we can just Abrupt Decay that whilst drawing cards with Bob. Okay. So we'll attack, and then I think the plan here is to play Overgrown Tomb. Then we're just going to decay this, play another threat, so that we can kill Khan if he decides to go and get something out of the sideboard. We've got this trophy if they find another Urza's Tower. So I'd imagine this will be a Khan the Great Creator. It is. They could go and get something. They either get something they can play now, or they get something for next turn, something like a Worm Coil Engine, which we'll struggle to deal with. So we know... Okay, they get Ensnaring Bridge. So we have the trophy for Ensnaring Bridge. We draw a Bauble. Okay, so we'll play the Bauble, see what my opponent's drawing. Oh, we can't. Okay, yeah, of course. But there's no creatures in the bin, so we'll just kill Khan here so we can activate our Bauble. And then we'll see what they're drawing. It's a sphere. And then I think we're just going to play out lots of threats. I think we just want to get a good clock going here. Bob obviously deals us damage, but given that we're on the Lurrus plan, we've got nothing over CMC. We've got one CMC 3 spell, so Bob's unlikely to deal us lots of damage. Touch wood. I mean, having said that, we'll probably end up dying to them, but we have got 8 power on the field. We've got a trophy that my opponent knows about, and all of our creatures can actually attack through this bridge at the moment. So we'll play another bauble. See what my opponent's drawing. They're drawing Thragtusk, which we don't really want them to draw. Or do we care about Thragtusk? This is a bit of a weird one, because we kill. The thing is, we kill my opponent next turn. Yeah, so we kill my opponent next. Oh, my opponent has just conceded. Worth thinking about a little bit, because my opponent draws Thragtusk. They play Thragtusk. They gain 5 life up to 13. Then we've got 8 power. I think that would have been fine actually. We play Tarmogoyf, we get Lurrus to hand, and then we just trophy the Thragtusk away, and we've got enough damage, I would think, to get there. But yeah, interesting one. Good to beat Tron game 1. Let's see what we can bring in. So we don't want any of these fatal pushes. Unravel the Ether's probably fine. It gets rid of Wormcoil Engine, gets rid of whatever Khan the Great Creator gets. We obviously definitely want Rain of Tears to destroy lands. We possibly want Maelstrom Pulse. Probably want Maelstrom Pulse actually. Things you don't want, so we don't need Spell Bomb, doesn't really do anything. Night's Whisper, we're not really after the card advantage against Tron. But we've cut quite a lot, so we're definitely bringing these in. And then we need 2 more cards. So things to consider are Night's Whisper and Collective Brutality probably. Let's check we're not running anything we don't really want. So Collective Brutality is better on the play, I think, because you can take the Sylvan Scrying if that's the draw they're on. So I think here we're just going to go 2 copies of Night's Whisper. Go with that. Glad to see my Inquisition misplay didn't cost us the game there. Yeah, that sounds good. We've got Inquisition into Bob. So Thoughtseize into Bob. Knowing that they're different arts, but can't be helped. So yeah, we either go Thoughtseize or Hexdrinker on turn 1, but it's definitely Thoughtseize. Just because my opponent's kept 7. Okay, so they've got a map. So let's see what they're... Okay, Bauble. So now we've got the choice. We can Bauble myself to shuffle away a potential rubbish card, or we can Bauble my opponent. Given that we're going to be drawing loads of cards later with Bob, I think we're just going to Bauble my opponent for the extra info. So they're finding a Khan. So we're just going to Thoughtseize. Okay, so my opponent doesn't have any sort of other Tron pieces. They're drawing Khan the Great Creator, so not drawing a land. They can go and get it with Blast with this, but that does slow them down. So it's not these two, I don't think, the Tron type things. I think it's probably one of these. I think it's Star, because they can't cast Stirrings if we take the Star, but they can cast Star if we take the Stirrings. So yeah, we're just going to take Chromatic Star here, and then we're going to try and yeah, just present lots of threats. Worth noting as well with Oblivion Stone, we can always unravel it if we need to. So we know the contents of my opponent's hand. Another Bob isn't really what we want, I suppose, but I think we'll just go and get a forest here. Don't want to take too much damage just in case Bob ends up dealing us lots. Okay, so my opponent will play Urza's Tower, one would imagine. And the next turn, they'll probably play the Oblivion Stone. Oh no, they found a star. Okay, so they can stir rings now. So yeah, this next turn really depends on what we see from this ancient stirrings. If they find the Tron piece, they find a map. So if they play the map, we're going to unravel it. Let's see what we find. Hex Drinker and Thoughtseize. So we're going to play the land here. We're definitely attacking. So I think, given that my opponent is a bit light on lands, I think we're definitely we're going to Thoughtseize. We're definitely Thoughtseizing, and then yeah, we'll Thoughtseize, see what we know. 3 of the cards in my opponent's hand. So they've got All Is Dust. So they've got 2 board wipes. I think we just take the cheap spell. They can't actually play any of this unless they find a land. If they find a Tron land, we're pretty dead anyway. So I think we're just going to take the Karn. Although Oblivion Stone only requires them to find 2 lands. Karn means they have to find 1. So I think it's one of these 2, and then we're going to unravel the expedition map. Trouble is, Bob isn't the quickest clock. Yeah, I think we take Karn. Karn can go and just get such scary stuff. So yeah, and then we unravel now. And then hope that my opponent doesn't find lands. I mean, Tron does only run 18 lands, is it? I think. Okay, so they just play the Oblivion Stone and pass. So this is scary because, you know, they're always able to just find the Tron land. So we find a land, which is nice. And we find Field of Ruin. That is one of the best draws, I would say. Because it just protects us from them top decking Tron. So we're going to play the Field of Ruin, and then we're definitely Field of Ruining now. Which one did they search for last? They played Tower last. So we'll hit the Tower. What do we want to... Well, we have to go and get a basic swamp anyway. So do we want to play another Dark Confidant, or do we want to play Hex Drinker? Might as well use the mana, I think. Although Hex Drinker is a faster clock. Yeah, let's play Hex Drinker and level it up. I think we want the clock more than we want cards now. Okay, opponent finds Expedition map. So they are going to get to play a land this turn. They play the Tower. So they're still 1 mana short of activating Oblivion Stone next turn. Oh, we find Maelstrom Pulse. That's very nice because we can Maelstrom Pulse the Oblivion Stone away, which I think we're going to do. Yeah, we're definitely doing that. Just in case my opponent finds, if they find 1 land, then. Okay, so if we make this. Let's play this as a forest. So if we make this a 4, we're attacking for 6. Or we attack for 4. And then play another Dark Confidant. I think another Dark Confidant's the play here. We're still on the hope my opponent misses misses land drops. And then Dark Confidant might flip us a... yeah, Dark Confidant might flip us a Rain of Tears or Field of Ruin. We find Assassin's Trophy, which is pretty good. Oh, I should have leveled up the Hex Drinker here, I think. Although my opponent is just dead next turn. Although they can... Ah, okay, so we're going to have to trophy this Blast Zone, I think. That is a good point. There's not much point in leveling up the Hex Drinker. So, because my opponent can Blast Zone it. Do we want to play another Hex Drinker? Do we want to play another Hex Drinker? My opponent's dead next turn anyway. I guess we play around a single removal by doing that. Yeah. And then we don't really want to shock. Let's do Blooming Marsh. And then level up one of these Hex Drinkers. Yeah, we should have done this pre-combat really. Would have hit my opponent down an extra couple of points of damage. Yeah, that would have been much better actually, wouldn't it? Because although my opponent might choose not to blow up the Blast Zone. They do blow up the Blast Zone. So the question now is, do we trophy a land? Given that my opponent has 2 7-mana spells in hand, I think we do. So we'll just hit the tower here. Yeah, that was my I misplayed again there, sadly. If I'd have leveled up the Hex Drinker before combat, we could have killed my opponent this turn. Okay, but as it is, we do get there. My misplays in that match not mattering too much, fortunately. I think we chose the right lines, just I didn't execute it quite right. But yeah, good to get the win versus Tron. See you again for round number 2. Okay, welcome back for round number 2. We will be on the play, which is good. Let's see what we get. Okay, I think we're going to keep this. It's a little bit land heavy, but Inquisition into Tarmogoyf is good against a lot of decks. Got the Field of Ruin as well, in case it's some sort of big mana strategy. And a Maelstrom Pulse for dealing with any pesky permanents. Play the right land this time. Ah, okay, so it's burn, but Tarmogoyf is very good in its burn. We don't have a removal spell, so we're probably just taking my opponent's 1 mana spell here. Although Tarmogoyf does block Swift Spear nicely. But yeah, I think we're happy to take Swift Spear here. It cuts my opponent off. Off a turn 1 play. And then my opponent's hand is fairly clunky. They play Wooded Foothills Pass. Okay, so we've drawn Inquisition, but I think that's better off played next turn. We're going to fetch here just because it makes the Tarmogoyf bigger. And we're going to go and fetch a basic forest, I think. We don't have to worry about double black for Liliana, but we do have Scavenging Ooze. And obviously we're going to want as much green as possible. For Scavenging Ooze, should we draw it? Yeah, the fetch there costs us 1 point of life, but it does make the Tarmogoyf a 3/4. Don't really want this to be an Eidolon. Searing Blaze. Okay, doesn't kill the Tarmogoyf, but... Okay, Blooming Marsh. Yeah, we'll play that. And then we'll go ahead and Inquisition. Just looking to So we're just going to take Boros Charm. It deals the most damage. We're crashing in for 4. Opponent finds a land. They could Searing Blaze the Goyf, skewer the Goyf. No, they've decided to skewer us. Okay. Dark Confidant, not really what we want to be finding there. We are going to attack. And then we'll put Lurrus to hand and play a tap land, I think. So yeah, if my opponent only had 1 white source, we would have considered fielding it. As it is, they've got 2, so it would just cut them off potential Boros Charm and Lightning Helix. So my opponent has double Skull Crack. They do have the guide, so we are dead next turn. Yeah, sadly we do just die next turn because my opponent has double Skull Crack. Yeah, that's unfortunate, mate. Well, no, I don't think we want to. Yeah, we're going to just die. Only just. Not sure what we can do about it. We have no instant speed life gain. There's no way for me to draw cards this turn. Opponent's drawing. It's a blank. We're going to die by 1 point of damage, which is unfortunate. Yeah, that's a bit frustrating there. Opponent's got us exactly dead on turn 5. I mean, I'm sure they'll do it, but play it out, assuming my opponent's Skull Cracks us here. And then they will probably just Skull Crack us here for lethal. Yeah, so the last point of burn in my opponent's hand gets the last point of burn from our life total, but that's how it goes against burn. Let's see what we've got to bring in. Okay, so engineered explosives we probably want. We obviously want to remove all of the Dark Confidants, and we want to remove all of the Thought Seizes. We got 2 copies of Collective Brutality, which is obviously very good. Maelstrom Pulse is okay. And then, we haven't really got a great sideboard versus burn. Spellbomb cantrips. Rain of Tears could be okay. Don't really want any more copies of Night's Whisper, just because it loses us life. Unravel deals with Eidolon, but nothing else. I think we'll bring in the Rain of Tears, and then just Spellbomb because it cantrips. I don't think we can do much more. Okay. Go with that. We have got 1 copy of Night's Whisper in, but okay, I think this hand, it's got a push. And unfortunate that this Treetop Village is comes in tap, but I think this is fine. If my opponent plays a creature turn 1, we can then escalate Brutality. Yeah, I guess the trouble with this hand doesn't have a threat. I guess we're hoping my opponent is on a very creature heavy hand. Okay, so I'll just play Treetop Village tapped and pass, and hope they play something like a Goblin Guide or a Swift Spear that we can get with this Collective Brutality. Okay, so we get our wish. Night's Whisper, not the best draw. So I think we're just going to all 3 mode this. And we'll get rid of Spellbomb. And I think, could it be Pulse? Yeah, I think we might need Night's Whisper. Okay, so we see this lot. So we either take Boros Charm as the biggest damage Dealer, or we take a 1 mana spell. I think we're going to take Boros Charm. Just think about this. My opponent goes land, Eidolon, and then the following turn they can go Boros Charm Spike. So we're just going to take Boros Charm. It deals the most damage. So my opponent's got an Eidolon and 2 burn spells in hand. Obviously Boros Charm can have other modes as well, such as making their Eidolon indestructible. Okay, Overgrown Tomb's not too bad. So we'll let my opponent play stuff if they want pre-combat. And then we're obviously just going to push this here. Lava Spike. So I think we're just going to start attacking with Treetop Village. We can still hold up Fatal Push. I suppose we could have put Lurrus into our hand there. My opponent is at 11. Opponent has a land. I suppose we could not fetch to just go to stay at 12. I think we're actually, we should have put Lurrus in our hand potentially. I think we're going to do that now. Because if we can gain some life, it's obviously ideal. Okay, opponent has a Helix. We're at 10. Okay. So do we want to fetch in order to play Hex Drinker? We could just play Hex Drinker. No, I think Lurrus is fine here. We kind of want to fetch in order to play this Spell Bomb is the trouble. How much do we care about Spell Bomb? I think I think this is fine. I think we're just going to play Lurrus for minimal value here, but I think that's fine. If we can connect with Lurrus as a lifelinker. Okay, opponent has Boros Charm. Hopefully this isn't another Boros Charm. Okay, we can now fetch because the difference between my opponent has Path. Yeah, we can fetch because the difference between 5 and 4 is minimal. 6 and 5. Okay, opponent attacks. Sees a Scavenging Ooze. I think we do want to draw that. We take 2, but then how many creatures are in the bin? There's quite a lot of creatures in the bin. Yeah, I think we're just going to take the 2 down to 4. And then draw the Scavenging Ooze, which we'll play right away. And then I think we fetch down to 3 and immediately put counters on the Skoos. Doing this now so that my opponent can't Lightning Bolt the Scavenging Ooze. Okay. So that's a good draw. Okay, so we push the Goblin Guide and then play the... Okay, my opponent just concedes to Scavenging Ooze because now we can, just keep gaining life. Looks like my opponent didn't draw too much. Okay. So I'm not fully convinced on our Lurrus plan there, but it did bait out the path, I suppose, for us to draw that Skoos. Night's Whisper felt pretty bad there. I think we'll just run it back. Okay, so sadly we are going to have to take a mulligan here. Scavenging Ooze is nice, but we don't have any green mana. yeah, this hand's better. And we're going to bottom the Verdant Catacombs. So we take no damage from our lands. It's quite similar to last game. We've got lots of removal, but we've got no threat. We're just going to have to try and... We're on the kind of running my opponent out of cards plan. So we could Inquisition here, or we could push the Guide. I think we Inquisition, take 2 from the Guide, because then we can Collective Brutality away the Guide next turn. So they've got an Eidolon, and they've got a Swift Spear, which I think we keep both of those in hand and just take the Boros Charm. So my reason for that is we've got lots of kill spells, so leaving my opponent with creatures is fine. It's not fine, but it's better. They play the Swift Spear, so they're going to skewer us, one would think. So we take 3. So let's see what my opponent's drawing. They're drawing a Lava Spike. So do we Brutality? Or do we just push Inquisition? Or push? Push isn't the worst. How are we taking the lowest amount of damage here? If we push, my opponent either plays Eidolon next turn. If we push, my opponent plays Eidolon, then we can then Collective Brutality away the spike. So I think we're going to incentivize my opponent to not spike this turn by Fatal Pushing now. Engineered Explosives could have, yeah, that would have been an okay draw. Didn't really want my opponent spiking us there. Okay, they find a land, so that's not too bad. So we're just gonna push this. I guess maybe we should have Inquisition, because this Inquisition is now fairly dead. So we're just gonna Brutality for 2 modes. This and this. Black. There's no point in keeping hold of this Inquisition. I think my opponent's just going to play all of the cards in their hand. Trouble is, we just haven't got this clock, and we have missed a land. If we can find a land and play Lurrus, maybe we should have kept Inquisition there. Rest in Pieces. Well, it's not too bad. Another Blooming Marsh. I think we Night Swiss. Well, no, now that we drew the land, it's definitely just play Lurrus. Because if my opponent can't deal with this Lurrus and it gets even 1 swing in with lifelink, that's annoying. That's a good rip from my opponent. We could EE for... I think we just Lurrus here. I don't think we're... Yeah, we're not blocking. Oh, my opponent found Lightning Helix. That's really bad. Push is nice. Let me do this now so we can play the bauble, but we do have to go down to 3. Yeah, that Lightning Helix off the top is going to stymie us, I think. Yeah, and we're just dead. Yeah, we're just dead. There's no instant speed life gain. Yeah, okay. That was unfortunate. I think we played fine. It was just we had to kind of hope that my opponent didn't find an answer to lure us. If they don't there, if they find something like a lava spike, I think we probably win, because we kill the Eidolon and then just start attacking with Lurrus, and that just wins us the game. But that's the way it goes. Bit of a frustrating loss to Burn, but we'll see you again for round 3. Okay, round number 3. We are on the play versus another Lurrus deck. So this hand's good. It's got Thoughtseize into threats, so we're going to keep. So Lurrus is probably Shadow, like Jund Shadow, but could be other things. Mill, Prowess, not Prowess, sorry. Hammer Time. Indeed, it is something else. This is Bogles. So we're going to take a Spirit Dancer, I think. Yeah, we'll take a Spirit Dancer. Pass the turn. And then we're going to play out this Tarmogoyf if my opponent chooses to path it. Oh, my opponent found a Bogle off the top. That's annoying. Yeah, if my opponent chooses to path this Goyf, then we'll just play a Hex Drinker that's pretty big. Okay. So they played Ethereal Armor, Griffspoon. Yeah, without this is going to be a matchup where the lack of Liliana is going to hurt us. And then play Treetop Village, play another Goyf, I think. But yeah, this has not gone well. Yeah, opponent fairly fortunate to find a Glade Cover Scout off the top of their library the turn after we Inquisitioned them. There's a Spirit Dancer and another enchantment. Yeah, so this Glade Cover Scout, we're not going to be able to beat this. Rather frustrating. Bauble, I suppose we could find Assassin's Trophy for this Griffspoon is the only thing we can find. Or Abrupt Decay for it. So we'll do myself. That is an Abrupt Decay. Okay, not too bad. So I don't think in that case I don't think we attack. Although how big will this be? We'll have first strike. So let's just play a Hex Drinker and pass. Because we know my opponent's got Path to Exile. There's no point in attacking. Okay. Okay, so we're going to decay the Griffspoon. So we can chump this Glade Cover Scout. So it's a 7 with first strike. So if we triple block, my opponent can just path 1, and then we lose a Goyf to the first strike damage. So I think we just do this. Seeing as we've got another Hex Drinker. Yeah, the trouble is my opponent can bring back Griffspoon. It's another Bogle. Temple Garden. Okay, so they have exactly Path to Exile in hand. Okay, so let's play this, and then we'll try and level it up to protection from instants. I suppose if we could give this protection from everything, that would be pretty okay. And then I think we do play that. And then we just have to pass. Oh no, it doesn't matter anyway. Just thinking it doesn't matter because my opponent can just Griffspoon this Glazed Cover Scout from the graveyard, give it flying, and we die. See if they see it. Imagine they do. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I think our hand was fine apart from my opponent top decking the Glade Cover Scout. That's how it goes. So we'll bring in some engineered explosives. Unravel the Ether seems good. Spell Bomb does deal with that enchantment. Fatal Push is an interesting one because it does kill Spirit Dancer. I think Maelstrom Pulse is good. I think we'll lose Fatal Push. Trophy and Decay deal with the enchantments. We've got EE as removal. Unravel's good. Spell Bomb. No, I don't think we want Spell Bomb. Let's leave one push in. Okay, let's go with that. Opponent probably bringing in Leyline of Sanctity. So one to be aware of. Yeah, this is probably one of the matchups where not having Liliana really hurts, but we do have 2 copies of Engineered Explosives, so what's this looking like? Dark Confidant 3. I mean, it's got lands and spells. We're able to shuffle something away. I think we'll keep this and hope my opponent doesn't have a lightning fast draw. They might have the Leyline of Sanctity, so this hand's okay against that. Okay, so we'll bauble ourselves. We're looking for engineered explosives, really. We don't want a scavenging ooze, so we're just going to fetch that away. I think we'll just go and get us. Is there any reason we want an untapped land on turn 1? No, we'll just go and get Overgrown Tomb and pass. And then yeah, we're looking for EE really. Okay, there we go. That's an EE. Okay, so there's a Bogle. So now, okay, so Thoughtseize is interesting. We could go Thoughtseize. We either go Thoughtseize EE, or we just go Creature. I think we're just going to go Creature. Let's go Goyf, and my opponent might not be able to attack. Because then if my opponent commits loads of enchantments to the board, we can blow them all up with engineered explosives. Yeah, there we go. So that's much better. Totem Armor. How does that work with engineered explosives? So I guess we'll find out. It does destroy the Griff's Boon, which is nice. So my opponent's drawing just a land. So I think we'll just EE on 1. And will my opponent have any way of making this indestructible to get around engineered explosives? Don't think so. So I think we'll just try and time walk my opponent this turn. Oh, Unravel the Ether is pretty nice. So I think we're taking 3 here. And not letting my opponent play. Yeah, so Totem Armor is if the permanent would be destroyed, instead removed all damage on it and destroy this aura. So I think we just unravel the Umbra, and then we get to, yeah, because otherwise if we pop the engineered explosives, we'll get a forest here for scoos. If we pop the explosives, the Umbra dies and the Bogle doesn't. So I thought Thoughtseize here. They might have Veil of Summer. Okay, so they don't have Veil of Summer. Should we just take Griff's Boon? Yeah, there's not much point in taking another Bogle. Let's just take the boon. I guess, well, yeah, that's fine. If they want to spend that much mana next turn, I think I'm fine with that. And they're probably cracking the canopy anyway. So if it's 2 damage here, I think we're just going to take 2 and then blow it up end of turn. Yeah. Again, kind of time walking my opponent, and then we can get Lurrus to hand next turn. Just because we don't want my opponent to then just play out 2 Bogles. Now we've got enough turns to grab Lurrus. We can now, yeah, so we've had enough turns to grab Lurrus, and then next turn we can Lurrus EE. If we draw a land, we can Lurrus an untapped land. We can Lurrus EE, and oh, they found another Umbra. Bit annoying. Okay, that's not bad. So let's bauble my opponent, see what they're drawing. Okay, so that's not too bad. So we just go Lurrus. And then I think we just want to... Okay, yeah, so we can just play a bauble. And then we want to eat both. Is that a... Oh, no, wait. Oh, that was silly, because Griff's Boon is actually 4 mana, isn't it? So... Do we Thoughtseize here? So the choice is here. Yeah, so we could have gone EE for 1 and then go. We don't really care about excusing these Griff's Boons yet. I think we're just going to Thoughtseize. I guess the risk... Yeah, okay, this is fine. The risk is that they've got another Griff's Boon or something. It's like a Daybreak Coronet or something. That just means they wreck us. Rancor's pretty good. So what's that reach? Another Totem Armor, but that gets destroyed by EE. So I'll just take the Rancor here and then pass the turn. Okay, so we know what my opponent's drawing. So we know the contents of my opponent's hand. So they could Umbra. This doesn't give trample, does it? No. So it looks like they're going to Umbra. But then we can Engineered Explosives every turn. They're going to be left with a naked Bogle. Sounds a bit weird, but yeah. Because next turn the Engineered Explosives will kill all of the enchantments. Yeah, Engineered Explosives with Lurrus is proving really, really good. Opponent can't attack at the moment through this Scavenging Ooze. No attacks. Okay, so we'll see what my opponent's draw step is next. Okay, so it is another land. So I think we're going to eat the... Let's not take any chances. We're just going to start eating the Griff's Boons. Okay, we find Abrupt Decay, so that's good. So play a land. I think we're going to... We know what my opponent's got in hand, so we can attack and then decay. And then we kill the Bogle. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a block here. Then we can decay the Umbra, kill the Bogle. Yeah, so just decay here. We kind of found everything we need here. Yeah, my opponent sees the writing on the wall. So what we do is we decay the Hyena Umbra. Lurrus eats the Bogle. We gain a whole bunch of life, and then we can play EE on 1 from the graveyard and hold that up forever. Okay, so that was good. Don't know if we want to make any changes. Knight's Whisper. It's just Knight's Whisper versus Push. Push is good against. It kills Dryad Arbor, and it kills. I think keeping the first push in here is fine. I think we'll go with this. Let's see. Okay, so this is an obvious mulligan. 6 lands is not what we want. See what my opponent does. Opponent's mulliganed. We will mulligan. It's okay, but I mean, Thoughtseize is less impactful, I suppose, at the moment, given that my opponent is on the play. I think we're going to keep this. We'll just bottom. There's no real reason to keep Field of Ruin. It's good against Horizon Canopy and stuff, I guess. But I think we'd rather get loads of green mana for scoos. Opponent's mull to 5. So we'll go turn 1 Catacombs. And then turn 2 either Goyf or Bob. Depends what we draw and what my opponent plays. Okay, opponent's kept. Basic Forest. We could do Fading a turn 1 boat. No, it is a Glade Cover Scout. Okay, sure. Okay, so we'll just play a Catacombs and pass. Opponent's only got 3 cards in hand. No white mana, notably. There's the white mana. Okay, not a bad start, giving my opponent mulligan to 5. Okay, we'll go and get an Overgrown Tomb and see what we find. Scavenging Ooze. I think we want to play Bob here. The Bogle is only a 2 to the moment. They can't currently play Daybreak Coronet unless they, in the 3 cards in their hand now, they've got White Land and Daybreak Coronet, which it's looking like it could be. If this goes and gets, it's shocking in. Oh, it is Daybreak Coronet, isn't it? Oh, we're unlucky there, I think. Yeah, that was not great. Notably, you can destroy the Daybreak Coronet. Oh, that's a good draw. That is a very. Okay. Yeah, we do that right now. So this is what I was going to say. So you can EE for 1, and then if you destroy the Ethereal Armor, the Daybreak Coronet falls off as well, because it's no longer the Glade Cover Scout is no longer enchanted. So here we're going to see if my opponent wants to attack, and then we'll trade for the Bob. Oh, okay. Ethereal Armor doesn't actually have Totem Armor like I thought it did. I thought it was the other one. Okay, well, that's still obviously very good for me. Okay, so this one's the Totem Armor one. Opponent's got 0 cards in hand though. See what we find. Okay, so Bob's doing us well. Yeah, so that Engineered Explosives off the Bob was obviously insane. So we've got 2 baubles. Let's see what my opponent's drawing. They're finding Daybreak Coronet, which is obviously rather worrying. So here we will, I think we're just going to get Lurrus to hand, and then we can blow everything up the following turn. Yeah, and then we're going to plan to block with Bob. And then next turn we go Lurrus, Goyf. Yeah, next turn we go Lurrus, Goyf. Play Bauble out of the graveyard. Abrupt Decay is... Oh, that's nice as well. Yeah, okay, we're finding quite a lot of good stuff here. Yeah, we can't afford to let this attack. So we're going to see what my opponent's drawing. So they're finding another Hyena Umbra. This is... Yeah, this is okay, yeah. So there's a few things we can do here. So we find Unravel the Ether, which is really good as well, obviously. So we're going to play this. So I actually think... So my opponent's finding Hyena Umbra. So we could play Lurrus and then... We could play Lurrus, play Bauble, hold up. Either that, or we know what my opponent's finding. So we could play Lurrus. I think we're definitely playing Lurrus. Yeah, that's for sure. And then the question is... No, Engineered Explosives on 1 is just going to be insane. So I think we're just going to play a Bauble. Yeah, Engineered Explosives on 1 is just going to kill both Umbras and everything else. So I think we're just going to play a Scoos to throw it under the bus here. Really handy that we know what my opponent's drawing every turn. We could just take 5, but given that we've got Lurrus, I think we just want to. We don't want to get cheesed out by a Griff Spoon or something. Worth noting that we probably want to save this Abrupt Decay for a Lurrus as well. It looks like they're putting Lurrus to hand. Don't mind drawing an Inquisition now. So we're going to check out what my opponent's draw is. It's another Dayrate Coronet, which isn't that good against what we're doing, I don't think. Hex Drinker. Okay, so we'll play a land. We're just going to go for Engineered Explosives on 1. So we need to hold up mana for that. So then we're just going to start playing big smashy creatures. Oh yeah, there's no point in playing Hex Drinker. Given that we're going to be EEing. Opponent is at 33 life, but we know the 3 cards in my opponent's hand. They can't play Lurrus and enchantments. They don't really want to just play enchantments. Looking like Lurrus here, which is fine. We can just decay that. They've got nothing free in the bin. So yeah, we're just going to crack the EE here. Okay. Well, actually, my opponent decides not to do anything. So if we crack EE, that kills quite a lot of stuff, to be fair. Kills Hyena Umbra and Daybreak Coronet. And then we're just going to decay this right away before my opponent can draw Veil of Summer or equivalent. Got kind of lots of things we can do here, but I think we're just going to play Engineered Explosives on 1 again. Yep, my opponent concedes. Engineered Explosives with Lurrus is really, really good. I mean, yeah, Lurrus is just really, really good. Okay, well, good to get another win. See you again for round number 3. No, round number 4. Okay, welcome to round number 4. We're going to be on the draw here. I think we'll keep this. It's got, you know, the bauble scry, sort of kind of scry with the fetch land. It's got some removal. It's got some threats. The Shrine tapped. Could be Esper. I'd be surprised. Let's just use it to scry here. Okay, so that's another land. So we don't want to find a land. This is probably not a deck that's going to be doing our life total too much damage. But I think we will get a basic swamp here. Okay, Tarmogoyf is a better draw than the land. Okay, so this is Mardu. How does this interact with removal? Do I just lose the card forever? What is it? I can't remember how this works. I think we just let it go. Because I think if we then push, I think we just lose the card they take forever. Because I think it's worded differently. It's worded the same way as Spell Queller. Not like Kite Sail Freebooter, because it's got the full stop. Yeah, because you get this trigger. If I push with this on the stack, this dies, but you still get this trigger. And so I just lose the card forever. Okay, so we'll just play. Do I play Goyf or Bob? I think we're going to play Bob. Okay, opponent does have a fair push. Maybe we should play the Goyf. Okay, so here I think we're just going to play 2 threats. Opponent might be running Path, but I doubt it. So we're just going to get Forest. Play Hexg. Play Goyf. Quite a lot of power on the field. That's 6 power. Would appear my opponent doesn't have a removal spell. Okay, so I'll play the Bob. I think we're okay to just attack here. You know, if he wants to give me Untitled Chapter back, which looks like they do. It grows the Goyf for... Oh no, it doesn't. They've got another push. Do we want to decay here? Keep the Hex Drinker around? No, I think we're fine trading Hex Drinker for Untitled Chapter. I think I'd rather keep the Abrupt Decay for something later down the road, like a Liliana. Don't know what my opponent has in hand. So I think here, just going to use, could be like Batter Skulls and Equipments, I suppose. I think we're just going to get a Swamp, and then we can put Lurrus in our hand and play Dark Confidant. Pretty nice. Not sure what my opponent's doing. Maybe they've got hands full of Gideons and stuff like that. Conceded from the game. They weren't drawing lands. Must have been 4. They must have drawn loads of equipment and big planeswalkers, I guess. Unless this is actually Mardu's Shadow or black-white Shadow, but it's not because they wouldn't play Concealed Courtyard. So yeah, I think my opponents must have been drawing all of their high-end stuff. Okay, so for this, we're going to want to lose some Thought Seizes. Probably want Pulse, definitely want Veil of Summers, definitely want the Night's Whispers, possibly Unravel, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be Stoneblade. I think we'll cut a couple more Inquisitions. I think cutting another Inquisition for an Unravel is fine. Don't think we want to... Spell Bomb... Don't think they're likely to use the graveyard. Actually, Engineered Explosives cleans up Lingering Souls, so I think we're going to cut the Spell Bomb and another Thoughtseize for a couple of EE. And then they're probably running Bob. So actually, I think the first Collective Brutality over the discard, given that these games are probably going to get really grindy. Yeah, I think that's fine. Unravel the Ether's in for... it hits all of the Stoneforge Mystic equipment. It also hits Tide Hollow Scholar, which is a bit of a weird one, but this is assuming that my opponent is on a Orzhov Stoneblade. We're going to keep this. It's got lots of removal, it's got Veil of Summer, and it's got a Night's Whisper. This is exactly the sort of thing we want. Hallowed Fountain? Right, that explains it. So my opponent must be on Esper, and they must have found all blue cards. I see. Okay, so let's see. So we're drawing a swamp. Don't want to draw the swamp, so let's fetch now. Get an Overgrown Tomb. We're going to shock it in case... Well, we might want to either push or veil here. Wall of Omens. Sure. So I think we're just going to Fatal Push this. Wasn't expecting that. But I think Fatal Pushing here is fine. Now, do we go for the Brutality here? I actually think in case my opponent... Yeah, I think we're going to play this. Play Hex Drinker. Because now if my opponent plays Teferi Time Raveler, we can Veil of Summer and keep the Hex Drinker around, kill the Teferi. Okay, just another Wall of Omens, which is fine. Okay, so we find a Catacombs. Just going to play this out. So I think we're going to... So we'll attack into this. If my opponent blocks, we'll kill the Wall of Omens with Collective Brutalities, escalate. We could have Ephemerate, but I think we could Night's Whisper here. But I think we want to find out what's going on. So we'll duress them and target creature gets -2/-2. We'll just discard... Let's discard Swamp here. It is Ephemerate. Okay, so it's Esper Ephemerate. So they've got a Fatal Push. Oh, it's Esper Inverter. Was not expecting this. Okay, well, we'll take the push. And then we'll just hold up, I think. This is quite obvious, I suppose, to my opponent that we've got Veil of Summer. Because otherwise we would have just put a level on Hex Drinker, or we would have Fatal Pushed this. Opponent plays Godless Shrine, Remorseful Cleric, Double Cleric. Okay. Okay, so there's Goyf. So we could level this up, but I don't think that's what we want to be doing. I think I'm just going to draw 2 here. Well, there's Fatal Push. Yeah, I think I'm going to attack. If my opponent wants to double block, that's fine. Now, do we want to hold up Veil, or do we want to play Bob? We could hold up Push and then push the inverter. Opponent's got 2 unknowns in hand. Goif can be made small, but it's not too much of a concern. We are at 14. Leaning towards playing Bob, but could be talked into... No, I think we want to play Bob here. Although we are on a clock, but yeah, I think that's fine. Opponent could attack for 4, but so I might want to adjust the sideboard here. So if people haven't seen this before, it's not overly... Well, it's becoming more common at the moment. This inverter deck, so the deck wins by emptying my opponent's library with Inverter of Truth, and then playing Thassa's Oracle, which wins the game if you haven't got any cards in your library, essentially. Okay, so we find Abrupt Decay. How much do we want? How much do we think that leveling up Hex Drinker's better than that? Yeah, I think we'll level up Hex Drinker. And then I think we're... yeah, I think we're bashing in. Then we're going to push something this turn, I should think. I think we want to push now, because if my opponent does, well, my opponent does play Inverter. There's a 6/6 flyer. And they are going for it. Okay. Yeah, maybe that was poor on my part, because now we lose to the Inverter. Yeah, that was a mistake. Should have waited on the push, because then I could have killed the Inverter, whereas now we're just... We could have blocked here, killed... We could have played the Goif. We could have blocked here, decayed this, and then dealt with the Inverter. Although they do have another Inverter. Yeah, I think this one's likely to be over. Probably attacks with... Yeah, that'll just be game. So we didn't expect it to be Esper Inverter. So what do we want to change? Discard might become a little bit better. And Spellbomb might become a consideration. I don't think we want Engineered Explosives. Veil of Summer is interesting. I don't think, yeah, we don't want Unravel. Yeah, it's a combo deck at heart, I think. So I think, yeah, some number of discard is definitely going to be right. think Pulse is probably quite clunky, especially if they're running Ephemerate. So that's freed up 5 slots. I think we want... I think we'll definitely run 4 Thoughtseize. What are we running Abrupt Decay for? And Trophy. I think we'll cut at least 1 Decay. I don't think the Collective is doing as much. Bring in a couple more. I think we'll just split the difference, something like that. That's too many. Don't know, yeah, because so they want the game just with beat down there, which would imply we want removal. Let's cut 1 more Decay and go with that. We would like to play first. This hand is a bit unfortunate that it doesn't have any black mana in. We've got another draw, but I think we have to mulligan this. Yeah, this hand's better, much better. I think we'll bottom the Treetop Village. And then try and go Inquisition into Bob. And hopefully Bob can just run away with the game. Unmulliganous. So we've got Ether Vial. 2 lands. There's the Thassa's Oracle. So I think here we'll probably take... they're probably going turn 1 Vial. Oh no, they haven't got the mana for... Oh, they haven't got... They've only got white and black mana again. Ephemerate is so good against our deck. I think we take Ephemerate. It just blanks removal. Let's try an Ether Vial. Okay, so we'll shock in. Play Dark Confidant. Very interesting deck from my opponent. Okay, so they find a second land. There's a Wall of Omens. Okay, we're going to start drawing cards. Night's Whisper's a nice find. Veil of Summer's pretty good as well. Do we want to push to start getting damage in, or do we want to... I kind of want to save the push for Lurrus. Let's whisper and see what we find. It's a Bauble. Bauble, my opponent, I think. They're finding Fatal Push. Okay, so that means that we're not going to do anything now. It will attack, there's no harm in... there could be harm in attacking, actually. That was a bad attack, because my opponent could have something to violin on 1. So yeah, knowing that my opponent is drawing Fatal Push is handy, because now we can protect my Bob. Another Veil of Summer's not too bad. Okay, so now we can't attack with Bob. We've drawn a lot of lands, which isn't ideal. So I think we just play the Catacombs. We could get Lurrus here. Or we could play Scoos. I think Lurrus is fine. So we're not attacking because my opponent could put in Thassa's Oracle to block and kill the Bob. Yeah, so my opponent can violin Lurrus, which is nice. Ephemerate. So we could fatal push this, and then my opponent Lurruses it back. So I think we have to let this go. Okay, so I think we can now scoos. We can scoos the Ephemerate, I think. Oh no, that was the one we'd already taken. Okay, sure. I thought, yeah, Ephemerate is exile as it resolves. I thought it was oh, we haven't even got scoos on the field. My mistake. Yeah, of course. Oh, I didn't mean to fetch then either, really. Yeah, that's not ideal. Okay, yeah, I got myself in a bit of a muddle there, but so we find Thoughtseize, which isn't too bad. Don't really want to go to 8. Although we've got, I think we play our own Lurrus. Let's shock this in. Play our own Lurrus. Play Bauble, and then we can go. Do we want to Thoughtseize is the question. Go to 8. Yeah, I think Thoughtseizing's fine here. It forces my opponent to put the Lurrus in. Okay, and then we'll see what my opponent's drawing. Just a land, and then push Lurrus using the revolt from Mishra's Bauble. Okay, so we are at 8, but we've got a life linker on the field. Wouldn't be surprised to see my opponent draw a card here. So we know what my opponent has in hand. Oh, they do get to rebound the Ephemerate. So that would draw them another card. We draw another Bauble, which isn't too bad. We don't really want my opponent to find a removal spell for Lurrus here. It does draw a lot of cards there. We know 2 of them are lands. Glasspool Mimic copying Thassa's Oracle. Okay. Opponent's up to 4 with Ether Vial. Planes. Okay, so we know the last card in my opponent's hand. Field of Ruin. So we can't really attack with Lurrus. I think we'll play another Bauble. Bauble my opponent, see what they're drawing. They are drawing Inverter of Truth. How much do we care about Inverter of Truth? How much do we want to stop them drawing that? We could Scavenging Ooze and then eat 2 things. Let's see what we're Let's see what we're drawing. We're drawing another Hex Drinker. I think Field of Ruining away, everything is fine here. So let's hit my opponent's Godless Shrine, I think. Yeah. Because we don't really want to draw another Hex Drinker, and we don't really want my opponent to draw Inverter of Truth. Okay, so I think we just say go here. We could attack with Lurrus, but I think Lurrus holding up is fine for now until we find a removal spell. So now we don't know what my opponent is drawing. We draw Fatal Push, which is actually quite a nice draw. Okay, opponent plays Silent Clearing, so that was their draw for turn. Okay, so I think we just untap here. We don't try and use... We've got enough mana. Trophy. Okay, so now I think we do want to be attacking with Lurrus. And then, so we're going to attack with Lurrus and Bob, I think. If my opponent... Okay, so that's fine. We just wanted to gain the life, really. So I think now we just want to play baubles and things. See what my opponent's drawing. They're finding another Inverter of Truth. How much do we care about them finding Inverter of Truth? Because we could Assassin's Trophy something to stop them. Hello. Oh, there's an Ephemerate. There's 2 Ephemerates in the bin. I think this is fine. I think we're just gonna hold here. We'll level up some. We'll put some counters on Hex Drinker. And then we'll eat. We need to save mana to eat both Ephemerates. We've got enough removal to kill the Inverter. So if my opponent goes for an Inverter, we eat both Ephemerates so that they can't Ephemerate these Thassa's Oracles in order to win the game. Yeah. Because if my opponent goes Inverter and then finds they shuffle this into their library, and then they can, if they draw the Ephemerate, they can eat. If they draw the Ephemerate, they can Ephemerate their Thassa's Oracle and then win the game. So I think we're going to try and kill this Thassa's Oracle. Opponent's played the Godless Shrine, so we know they've got Inverter Unknown. Okay, opponent going for an Inverter here. Okay, so we're going to exile both Ephemerates. Oh, if they draw Lurrus, I think this is fine because we can eat all of their cards with Scavenging Ooze anyway. So if they're going to try and draw Lurrus, there's lots of lands they've got in the bin. So we're just going to eat both ephemerates, which wins my opponent the game. And then we can eat the... We could fetch here and just eat Lurrus as well, leaving my opponent with literally nothing. Oh, we only have a swamp. That's fine. So I'm going to push the inverter, I think. That's fine. Okay. So if they've got another Thassa's Oracle, which they do, okay, so, but I think this is okay, because now we can push a Thassa's Oracle and they don't win the game because they haven't got enough devotion. Because I think it's equal to, or... Okay. Okay, this is fine. So then Inquisition's dead. So we do Mishra's Bauble. Bauble the opponent. Opponent's just conceded. Yeah, okay, so yeah, we navigated that fine. It was lucky that we had the push there. I guess also lucky, actually, I think my opponent punted a little bit, as did we. When I fetched the swamp, if my opponent I missed it, but if my opponent had flashed in the Thassa's Oracle there, I think they win the game. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Back at the end of my opponent's last turn, because I think the fetch land was our last land. Oh no, we were fine because the inverter trigger was on the stack. So yeah, that was fine. Yeah, we were fine there. Yeah, but we should have thought about this. The possibility of my opponent just drawing another Thassa's Oracle and being able to win that way. So yeah, all in all, I think we did well. Yeah, just need to think about that in the future. But yeah, we're 3-1. Let's go for the 4-1. Right, welcome to round number 5. We will be on the play. I think this is okay. Yeah, Inquisition into Hexdrinker, or we've got loads of discard. So if discard is good in this matchup, then I think we're okay. So we'll Inquisition my opponent. Okay, so this is Abzan. So we could take their path in case we want to play Hexdrinker next turn. Yeah, because I think we take path. Take path, and then if we find a untapped green or black land, we can play Hexdrinker and get rid of the Liliana from my opponent's hand. Love some Abzan. Okay, land Noble Hierarch from my opponent. So whatever happens here, we're Inquisitioning. Okay, we find another Hexdrinker, so we can't really do anything with that this turn, unfortunately. So we're just going to take the Liliana of the Veil and say go. Do need to find another land. Looks like my opponent might have found something. If they found Liliana, that would be pretty frustrating. No, they found an Inquisition. Not sure why they had to Fetch and shot. I guess they are eyeing up attacking us for 2 with these noble hierarchs. Okay, 2 lands in hand from my opponent. We have some gas. We would like to find another land at some point, but okay, Bob. That's a very good draw. Yeah, I think we're just playing Bob because if Bob can start drawing us cards, we're in great shape. Verdant Catacombs. Opponent has 2 cards in hand. Another Inquisition, that's fine. Bob would draw us more cards. So Bob will be drawing us a card here. We are going to take 2 damage from this Noble Hierarch, but that's fine. No way we're blocking that. Okay, Bob, show us the goods. That's a Tarmogoyf. And a land. Okay, so that's pretty good. Noble Hierarchs aren't great at blocking, so let's go ahead and attack for 2. Then we'll play this Tarmogoyf. And then what colour do we want this to be? We don't have... I guess we've got Scavenging Ooze for green. I don't think we have much double black. I guess we'll go green. We can always Field of Ruin for the second colour. Okay. Interesting here if my opponent's drawn Liliana, which creature do we sack? Okay, they have, so we're going to put that to the test. I think we sacrifice Goyf. Is that crazy? Do we value the... Yeah, I think we just sacrifice the Goyf. We can... I think we might just trophy the... Well, how much do we care about trophying the Liliana? Not sure. It depends what my opponent does here. If my opponent attacks, I can see a case for trophying Hierarch attacking Lily to death. See what we get with Bob. Another Goyf's good. Another land's good as well. So how much do we need to think about killing Liliana? I think this is fine. I think we're just gonna... I don't think we need to kill Liliana just yet. We'll attack with Bob if my opponent wants to lose Liliana and trade for the Hierarch. We're fine with that because we've got the trophy anyway. We're going to discard this Thoughtseize. We'll play the Goyf, and this way we can just hold up trophy if we need to. I'm not even sold on trophying the Liliana. We can just attack it to death with these creatures next turn. I think my opponent knows about the trophy, but yeah, we can just discard this Thoughtseize if Liliana pluses. Okay, opponent's found something. Could be Stoneforge Mystic. 3 mana. Okay, cycling a Triome, that's fine. Okay, looks like my opponent's got something good. Unless they... Okay, so I think here we might Thoughtseize. Well, we are taking some damage. So we're gonna... Do we care about killing Liliana? Weirdly, no. I think we're just going for the beats now. Tarmogoyf's a 5/6. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have played that land, but I think we're going to Thoughtseize. Yeah, we'll take that, and then we'll play the Hex Drinker and level it up. And then if my opponent decides to plus with Lily, I think we just let that happen. Yeah. Okay, my opponent concedes. But yeah, we knew my opponent had something good there because they didn't tick up the Liliana, so we were able to discern that it was something pretty good. I mean, it could have been a double bluff. Okay, so here we want to take out all of our discard as per normal in the grindy matches. Bring in Pulse, Engineered Explosives. Engineered Explosives obviously good at killing Goyfs and Lingering Souls. Veil of Summer, Night's Whisper are definitely ones we're interested in. And then Spell Bomb for Lingering Souls. Okay, so we'll be on the draw here. And the hand is good. Double Engineered Explosive is a bit clunky, but it's got Veil of Summer, it's got Night's Whisper, which are two good cards in the matchup. Let's do this. Look at what. I think we're just going to play Treetop Village and pass, and then we'll look at what my opponent's drawing now, just so that in case they've kept Thoughtseize in. So it's drawing a land. Yeah, so you bauble in my opponent's upkeep so that we draw a card in our turn and it can't be Thoughtseized. So this is probably going to be Stoneforge, which could be a problem. Because we haven't currently got an answer for it. Could be Goyf. Oh no, Brutality. Okay, so yeah, that's annoying. I wasn't expecting Brutality really from my opponent. It would have been nice to hold up Veil of Summer here. Yeah, I wasn't expecting Collective Brutality. Bit of an odd one to bring in against us, I guess, but takes Night's Whisper, which is fair enough. Okay, so what are we going to draw? We draw a land and a Bob. So I think we're going to wait on the Bob. I think we're just going to play the Swamp and say go. Because if my opponent has Fatal Push, we're going to want to play the Bob with Veil back up. Okay, we draw another Bob, so that's nice. So we're just going to play out a Bob here. Could be Kaya's Guile is what I'm thinking. Which gets around Veil of Summer nicely. But let's see what my opponent does. So Liliana doesn't work because we can Veil it. Push doesn't work because we can Veil it. It's yeah, Kaya's Guile or Bust. Well, not Bust, but yeah, Kaya's Guile is the only thing that reliably kills Bob. Or Path to Exile. Or Skyclave Apparition on my opponent's turn. So my opponent's got several things that kill it. It's looking like a Kaya's Guile here. Yep, that's fine. We do have the backup Bob. Those of you that have watched some of my other videos will know I have a love for Kaya's Guile. Could be a questing beast or something here. Something big. Gideon. Which wouldn't be ideal. ideal. It's not Gideon. That's my opponent messed up with what land they got. Gideon double white. Could be souls. Trotsky. That's not ideal. Opponent is going to draw lots of cards here. And we can't really kill Trotsky, I don't think. Okay, let's just play out the pathway. I think we'll just play Bob. Might run out an E for 0, just so we've got the flexibility. Then we can crack it end of turn if we need to. Yeah, this Tusk is gonna give us the business here, I think. Liliana. Okay, so I think here we're going to activate our treetop village. Oh no! I really needed to cast Veil of Summer there. I really needed to cast Veil of Summer there, because now, yeah, I think I just concede now. I mean, my opponent had Fatal Push as well. If I cast Veil of Summer, they push. We draw Overgrown Tomb. So yeah, I think this Trotsky is just gonna. But yeah, no excuses for misplays like that. So I'm gonna bring in the Collective Brutalities. They kill Trotsky, and we haven't seen any souls yet. But I think we'll cut the spell bombs. What do we expect to see then? We've got the EEs to get rid of them. Although with Lurrus, I guess souls is quite likely. Not Lurrus, with Trotsky even. Okay, so this is for the 4-1. We're gonna keep this. It's got some good stuff. So Blooming Marsh. I think we will go now. Opponent's drawing a land just in case we draw a Veil of Summer. Another Abrupt Decay isn't too bad. Yeah, we're saving this Collective Brutality, I think, for Trotsky. Okay, Fatal Push is a nice find. Let's draw 2 here. And so you go. So we've got Engineered Explosives, which is a nice out to Lingering Souls. We've got Collective Brutality as an out to Trotsky. Obviously all of this could go awry if my opponent has Collective Brutality. Got a lot of removal. Opponent shocks. They do have Inquisition, so they kept discard in. See what they take and see what we can discern about their hand from what they take. So they take Brutality, they probably have Trotsky. If they take EE, they probably have Souls. Anything else, I'm not sure. Trotsky and Souls are the cards we're really scared of. They're taking Abrupt Decay. Well, we've got another one in hand, so not sure exactly what that means. We'll play this. I think we just want to play this as... No, we'll go green. And play Hex Drinker. I guess my opponent could have Liliana. It's possible we shouldn't have played that Hex Drinker. So I'm going to hold up Abrupt Decay instead here. Opponent might not have another black land. They do have another black land. Lots of discard effect, sacrifice effect. Yeah, it is a Liliana. Yeah, it's a big 2-for-1 here. So yeah, let's go ahead and decay this, use our mana. Okay, we find another Hex Drinker, which isn't too bad actually. But wouldn't mind, I think we might just put Lurrus to hand here. Just because if we play Hex Drinker and they play another Liliana or a Kaya's Guile or what have you. Okay, there's the 4th land. Is it Trusky? Don't want to see discard really. Collective Brutality, sure. So they'll probably take our Brutality. So that probably means they've got a kill spell for this Lurrus. So they're not saving the Brutality for it. Turns out we draw Bob. So I'm kind of keen to just play 2 threats here in case of a sacrifice effect. But it could have push, but we're kind of just taxing their removal, so then we can slam Lurrus and try and win the game with that. They have a push. Three cards in hand. So there's no, we haven't seen Stoneforge Mystic yet. Maybe they're not on Stoneforge. 3 cards in my opponent's hand. At some point we've got Lurrus for Bauble, or if we draw a land we can Lurrus Hex Drinker. Just a sword, which is okay. Field of Ruin's quite nice. So I think we're ready to Lurrus now. And then get a Hex Drinker back. Would we rather get a Hex Drinker back, or would we rather Bauble? I guess that's a question. Because Hex Drinker... No, I think I'm going to get Bauble actually. But the reason here is if my opponent has Maelstrom Pulse or Plague Engineer, yeah, if my opponent has Maelstrom Pulse or Plague Engineer and we get Hex Drinker, then that's really painful for us. Okay, so we'll just go and get a Swamp. Okay. And then we'll just go ahead and level this up once. And then we can hold up Fatal Push as well. And we can hold up Revolt with bauble. Okay, so opponent looks like they're flooded a little bit. Yeah, drawing some more cards. 3 in hand. Yeah, I think we're fine to play the bauble. Let's look at what my opponent's got. Plains. Okay, so my opponent probably will fetch, but Field of Ruin, Overgrown Tomb. So not the best draws for us, but we will go ahead and level this up. Okay, so it's protection from instants. I think we're okay to level up once more. Yeah, I think leveling up once more here is good. And then next turn, I guess Kaya's Guile still wrecks us whatever happens. Because this is lethal in 2 attacks if we level it up all the way next turn. But I think we can just attack here. Yeah, we've got lots of answers in hand, but only 1 threat, and we're in trouble if my opponent finds Liliana. Now, do we just field this? Probably not now. Opponent could have Veil, of course. Opponent does have to find something that deals with this Hex Drinker. 3 cards in hand. Liliana, Kaya's Guile both do it. Yeah, Liliana, Kaya's Guile both kill Hex Drinker. They're the only things I can think of, however. Lingering Souls doesn't work. Pretty sure if they'd found Liliana, they'd just be slamming. Oh, my opponent's just conceded. That's interesting. But okay, we'll we'll take it. I assume my opponent just had nothing in hand that deals with Hex Drinker. Hex Drinker proving good there. So yeah, very happy. Got the 4-1. Made a few mistakes, but I think the deck performed very well, and we'll look to iron out those mistakes for next time. But yeah, happy with the deck. I think Night's Whisper has been really good, as has Lurrus. Bob has won some games by himself. Yes, Goose has been pretty good as well. So yeah, I'm really happy. I was just about to say we dodged the difficult matchups, but we beat Tron. Did dodge any sort of control. But yeah, happy with that. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed watching some more Rock. Please do subscribe if this is something you like. Let me know in the comments how you're finding it, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers.